What is up, car addicts? So this one's been a highly requested video and also a very popular question I get often, and that's what are my favorite cars in GTA Online. So in this video, I'm going to be making a list of my top 10 favorite cars in GTA Online. Now I do want to mention that I will not be including weaponized vehicles in this video, or rocket powered vehicles, or crazy armored vehicles like the Toreador, Scramjet, etc. Those are, nice community favorites. I like those as well, but I want this video to be focused more on the normal-esque cars and not the crazy weaponized and armored special vehicles. And obviously there's going to be a lot of bias in this list here because it's obviously a list of my personal favorite cars in the game. But anyways, let's get right into it. Starting off with number 10, we have the Comet S2. So this car was added with the Tuners update in 2021 and has a normal price of just under 1.9 million and a trade price of about 1.4 million. So this car is just absolutely incredible in terms of customization, styling, and its exclusive interior as well. Now the reason this car isn't placed higher is because of how slow it is in general and the handling, which honestly isn't the best either, but the rest of the car is amazing and super realistic looking, which is why it's in my top 10 list. Next up, on to number 9, we have the Vigero ZX. So this car was added with the Criminal Enterprises update in 2022 and has a normal price of about $2 million, which is quite wild of a price for a muscle car, but this car also has insane styling, performance, and customization. It's just an awesome car that's super fun to drive, especially with the HSW upgrades, and of course, with how close Rockstar got it to its real-life counterpart, which is the 6th gen Camaro ZL1. It's definitely one of the best cars Rockstar has ever added, at least in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure Rockstar is probably going to port this model right over to GTA 6 because, just look at it. It looks so good. Moving on to number 8, we have the Sterling GT. So this car was added with the Ilgon Gains update in 2015, and it used to be available from Legendary Motorsport website for just under $1 million, but sadly Rockstar removed it from the website with the recent DLC. But anyways, the first thing I love about this car is the exhaust note that crackles and pops right off the throttle. It just sounds so good. Plus the styling, the gull-wing doors, customization, and for those of you who don't know, the customization was just updated about a year ago. An insanely good handling, which basically handles like a sports car, and if you add the HSW upgrade, it makes it just an absolute monster. It's my favorite classic car in the game by far. The only thing I'm not too much of a fan of is the interior, which they just copied and pasted over from a muscle car, but for its time in 2015, it was kind of expected that Rockstar would do that. But other than the interior, I think the rest of the car is just absolutely amazing. Continuing to number 7, we have the Schlagen GT. So this car was added with the Arena War update in 2019 and has a price of 1.3 million. It has awesome styling, customization, great exhaust note, handling, and speed as well. It's just really the overall package and one of my favorite sports cars in the entire game. For those of you who don't own one, I would highly suggest getting one. I guarantee you'll love it. Next up, on to number 6, we have the Gauntlet Classic. So this car was added with the Casino update in 2019 and has a normal price of about $600,000 and a trade price of about $461,000. This thing has incredible customization, a fantastic startup sound and idle, a nicely detailed interior, plus it's just a ton of fun to drive. I think Rockstar just did this one right. There's really nothing I don't like about it. It makes it my favorite muscle car in the entire game. And yes, I do slightly prefer the regular one over the Benny's custom variant, and I also prefer this car over the Gauntlet Hellfire because I'm still not too much of a fan of the 2 headlights Rockstar gave the Hellfire instead of the 4, which they actually gave to the Gauntlet Classic. I know it's me being a bit nitpicky, but I just prefer the Classic as the better overall muscle car. Moving on to number 5, we have the Coquette D10. So this car was added with the 2020 summer update and has a price of about 1.5 million. And the main reason this car is in my top 5 favorites is because of the styling that's extremely close to its real life counterpart, the Corvette C8. Now, if we keep in mind how wild Rockstar used to be with their car designs, mixing a bunch of different cars together, The fact that Rockstar was going to potentially add a Corvette C8 at some point had me a bit worried, because I thought it was probably going to look kind of like a McLaren or a Lambo or Ferrari, because obviously it's a mid-engine sports car. But the fact that it's recognizable as a Corvette C8 at pretty much any angle is just awesome. It's not even remotely close to a McLaren or a Lambo or anything like that. The customization's also pretty good. Now, the handling isn't the best, and its acceleration is also pretty terrible, but the top speed is good once it gets going, so at least that's not too bad. Now, the higher pitched exhaust note, I know, is a controversial topic on this car, but with the existence of the higher pitched C8 Z06, I've kind of accepted it, and I don't think it's too bad anymore. Continuing to number 4, we have the Progen GP1. This car was added with the Cunning Stunts Special Vehicle Circuit update in 2017, and used to be available from the Legendary Motorsport website for just under 1.3 million, but sadly, Rockstar removed it from the website with the recent DLC. But anyways, I mean, it had to be on this list. This car speaks for itself. It's based on the legendary McLaren F1. I think Rockstar just did a fantastic job with the model in the game, which has an awesome interior, pretty similar to its real-life counterpart, a nicely detailed engine bay, incredible customization, and a nice driving experience as well. The only thing I wish it had was maybe a bit higher of a top speed to reference its, high top speed in real life, but either way, still an incredible and legendary car for sure. Next up, on to number 3, we have the FMJ. So this car was added with the Further Adventures in Violence and Felony update, and used to be available from the Legendary Motorsport website for a price of about 1.7 million, but sadly Rockstar also removed this one as well with the recent DLC. This car, in my opinion, is the most beautiful looking car in the game in terms of styling alone. I think it's just an absolute work of art with its low slung design, the flying buttresses obviously inspired by the Ford GT, etc. Plus, it has good handling on smooth roads, a good top speed, and decent customization as well. However, the reason this car is not number 1 or 2 on my list is because of the normal opening doors, the lack of an active aero rear spoiler, and an exhaust note that doesn't really match it all that well. Moving on to number 2, we have the Turismo R. So this car was added with the business update in 2014 and has a price of $500,000, or free for those of you who had the Criminal Enterprises starter pack. So this car used to be my favorite in the game for many years, and the reason for that is because of its gorgeous styling. It's actually my second favorite car in the game in terms of styling alone. Plus, it has an awesome exhaust note. Plus, it received updated customization about a year ago. And of course, what really seals the deal for me is its driving experience. It's rear-wheel drive, and it is a very rewarding car to drive when you get the hang of it. It does spin out if you're not careful, and it takes a bit of throttle control, precise steering inputs, and just a higher skill level in general to get the most out of it. But once you get the hang of it, I mean, it's just awesome. Just a really nice overall car that I thoroughly enjoy driving around in game. And lastly, on to number 1, my favorite car in the entire game. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this one already. It's one of the most popular questions I get in the comments section of my videos and live streams, but it's the XA21. So this car was added with the gun running update in 2017, and used to be available from Legendary Motorsport website for just under 2.4 million. And I find it pretty ironic how Rockstar removed my personal favorite car in the game from the website. But anyways, this car has gorgeous styling, being based on the beautiful Jaguar CX-75, which sadly never made it into full production. It has great customization, exotic doors, a nice engine model, active rear spoiler, my favorite exhaust note in the entire game, and fantastic handling, making it one of the easiest cars in game to drive quick regardless of your skill level. It's really the overall package. There's nothing I don't like about this car, to be honest, and it's by far the one I drive in game the most when I'm bored or just cruising around with some friends, because it genuinely is a really nice car to drive, to look at, the way it sounds, just everything about it. But there you guys have it, my top 10 favorite cars in GTA 5 Online in 2023. Definitely let me know down below in the comments what are your personal favorite cars in the game. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.